Ryan will be trying to keep him off the table, though, as he has the opening break, and it's a good one. Oh, it's a very good one. Cue ball was a little close to the top corner, but the power driven through the pack beautifully. Balls flying in everywhere. This split is fantastic. You could actually go both ways here, but reds are easier, assuming the 8 ball has a pocket. If the 8 ball doesn't have a pocket, you can kind of think the 2 yellows above and below it would open it up, but the yellows getting around to that point would be trickier. So has to go reds, and I believe that's opened up the 8 ball to right centre. Possibly even enough room to one of the bottom corner pockets. He would have liked a little bit more of a nudge on it, but I think it's opened up enough.
It's a massive night for Ryan Pisani. I know he's been to an Ultimate Pool semi-final before, but I know from his perspective he felt like he didn't really show his best in that semi. It can often be the way, can't it? You know, the first big stage that you reach, you often come away from it thinking, there was more to give there.
Yeah.
But you learn from the experience, you come back a better player, and that's what Ryan will be hoping to do.
I guess it's the point where you suddenly see the winning line that little bit more. You know, you've reached the semi and you know what you've got to do, but you're guaranteed to be playing a great player.
This has been a really impressive start from Ryan. Start so big tonight for all 4 of our players, but none more so, I would suggest, than the P. And a pristine pattern from Pisani. There's 1-0 in front with authority. That was a brilliant start from the Maltese.
All built on the back of a very good break. Did what all good players do, attack the bad ball early, which was the 8 ball, and then connect them together.
Nothing Shane Thompson won't have seen 1,000 times before.
What you get with layouts like this, I know there was a little bit of work on the first shot, but Shane will have seen the split, sat back in his chair and written the frame off in his own mind. If he gets to the table, it would have been a bonus. So there's no shock here at all. This is what happens at elite level.
Crunch those, gets a ball. And if this is a sign of how this table's breaking tonight, all 4 players will be licking their lips. The only thing you would say is it puts so much pressure on that little lottery of making a ball. But Shane Thompson has yellows, by a player of Shane's level, are absolutely wide open. And as we talked about Shane writing off the last frame, I think if Ryan's got any sense, I think he's probably done exactly the same thing.
Talks about Shane and his early chances out there tonight being really important, just to have the feel, have the touch. This is a brilliant layout for him, as a first layout especially, because there's room on pretty much every shot. Maybe the slight transition from the ones in the middle to the ones at the bottom, he just has to be careful, but there's still plenty of room, and it just gives you a little bit more freedom.
One thing in Shane's favour is, talked about how well he played at the last Pro Series event, semi-final, final. But he did all that with a slightly busted cue. Happy to report his good buddy Jason had sorted him out. It's good to go. But I did raise the thought to Shane. You know, you played amazingly well that weekend. Were you tempted to leave it as is? And he said, well, that'd be something, isn't it, if I played better with a broken cue.
Yeah, Shane's a little bit of a tinkerer, though. He's often sending the cue back to Jason to have a little touch here or there. Been doing that for years. Talked about his touch. He actually was a little bit short couple of shots ago, which meant he was taking that to the corner rather than the centre. It's not going to cause him any issues, but well, he's very fortunate to be on this ball. That is not the gap he was looking for.
Yeah, he was looking for a full ball cannon on the reds, but missed that entirely. He may well even have to turn this. Just a fraction. He's a lucky boy to be on this.
No, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. And this time he does get the cannon he was looking for on the previous shot. And those are the things that when you come from one to the other, that's what that path of the cue ball, it's just slightly off.
Yeah, and we're talking like decimal percentage margins here.
I mean, he's a ball off there, isn't he? If he catches the red full ball, he missed the red, you know, it's almost shaved it on the inside, so he's almost a full ball off. But the difference of, you know, that's the tiniest trace of side on that to get that, and that's where, you know, when you're transitioning from a game where the balls are the same size to a game when the balls are smaller, your cue ball's smaller than the object ball, that's what will catch you out. So got away with it on this occasion, but certainly didn't have the cue ball as he normally would in that opening chance.
3-3.
So back to the Pisani break, 1 each after 2. He's getting into that nicely, isn't he? He really is. It's a little bit, it comes through quick, doesn't it? It's like a punch.
Yeah.
But he really is getting into this really well.
This is actually a better break than his first one, but a dramatically worse layout. If the 8 ball goes, you can see a case for yellows, because you might be able to develop the yellow nearest right centre first shot, or play yellow into the right centre off it. But the yellow at the top of the table becomes a problem, and I question the 8 ball whether it passes the red to bottom corner. So this may just be a layout where there's just no future in it.
Yeah, he's come around to have a look at the 8 ball. The 8 ball's a big question. I can only think it goes if he takes that yellow off the table. No, doesn't feel confident. It may even look to tie it up even more.
Yeah, I think this is a wise choice. I think whoever goes first on that layout is going to be second favourite.
Well, 2 sort of routine break and runs for these two so far, but now we really see who's in good form tonight. This is a testing frame. Horrible layout in both suits. Shane Thompson looks like he's going to go. He may just have been getting a colour set and then getting to work. But we'll see. If he pots another yellow, I'd suggest he's absolutely going game, because there's no benefit to doing that unless you are.
He is thinking about yellow off yellow into right centre. Maybe, I suppose the 8 ball is in a position for a double. Keep the 1 over bottom right as your last ball. It is a position for double. So there's a lot going on in this visit, but he's taking on a harder finish than Ryan turned down going for.
I think he may not be on much. He might only be able to see the potting angle of the ball. He's just moved away from the centre pocket down the table. Or can
I think
manufacture something with this.
This clips back, but he might be clip this back and playing into the red and yellow, which will work really well for him.
Oh, he was.
Oh, and he's opened up the 8 ball. That is a big, huge slice of luck for Shane, but fortune favours the brave, I guess. That has come out incredibly well for him.
That has come out like a dream. He couldn't have drawn that up any better. But you can see the thinking. I mean, straight away you can see the thinking, because this ball would have been the ball to develop the 8 ball, but he doesn't need to anymore.
Exactly that. He would have had an angle to be able to go into the 8 ball on the left-hand side while still keeping one over the corner pocket. Brilliant effort, but that nudge for that red to come down and develop the 8 ball it's as good as it gets, but take nothing away from the finish as an overall. Brilliant.
Well, what I like about that is, even though he's had that little bit of touch where the red's come in and open the 8 ball, you could still see absolutely the game plan. He'd written it out for us on the chalkboard essentially there, and that was a really, really clever way of going about that finish.
Yeah, hindsight, this is very much hindsight, because at the time I thought, you know, Ryan's done a good thing tying the 8-ball up, as we have another look at this amazing piece of fortune for the red to come out down and develop the 8-ball. But as you say, let's say the 8-ball stays, sorry, the red doesn't go anywhere near it. You still fancy him to get out once he's played that shot. My question is for Ryan is, was the right thing to do tying up the 8-ball, because it gave Shane some freedom on yellows. He could take on the first couple of shots knowing he wasn't going to get countered on the reds. And then obviously he had the big slice of fortune in the middle. Maybe if the reds were a little bit more accessible, it would have been tougher.
Shane Thompson break is looking pretty good tonight.
There's one shot to play, one red to develop, and he's got 2 really good balls to do it with. He might be able to do it first shot. Might not quite have the right angle. You'd rather go into it off the left-hand side than the right-hand side. There might be too much side needed. No, beautiful shot, and that's the work done.
Really do love watching Shane play when he's at his best. I think you called it absolutely spot on. For the purists out there, I think Shane's game when he's on it is a real form of artistry in this form of the game.
It is, and I think a lot of players, you know, a lot of people rather, would be sat at home watching, and you know, those that have watched Shane for a long time, it's like, you know, when he gets great layouts all the time. It's an easy game. He makes it look easy when he's on his game.
Yeah, that is a slightly slack shot. He wanted the cue ball just to run forward, maybe another roll.
Yeah, straight in left centre was what he was thinking, and he was pinching the pocket because he didn't want to go too far past the straight and then be coming down the table. And he's pinched it so far that he's actually caused a slight issue for him. I mean, it's not a major one at all, but cue ball's doing more work than he wanted.
A lovely recovery shot, but he's going to have another cue ball to play here.
Yeah. Difference between, again, being a roll higher up the table than he was. Huge, as it was in his first attempt at the clearance in the second frame, which he got.
Oh, how's your nudge? How's your nudge?
He's had a couple early, hasn't he? If he gets full ball on that, he's got nothing. And I think if he doesn't get the flick, he's probably gone a little bit too high up the table.
That's such a lovely little case for him, isn't it? Could not have come out any nicer. And as you say, he's had a couple of those, but he is playing well, is the SAFECRACKER. 3-1 in front, 1 from home, races to 4. Remember, in the Champions League. And you can still tell he's just sort of finding it out there, but that can always happen first match of the night.
He's breaking well. That's something that he'll be very pleased with. If he breaks to that level all night, he'll get a lot of chances.
So Ryan Pisani needs to find a response, not beyond the realms when he was breaking as well as he has done so far. 2 fabulous breaks. One, you could argue, not sufficiently rewarded. Speaking of not sufficiently rewarded, is he going to make a ball? He is not. That is tough.
Because it's a great layout again. Tough school this, isn't it? He's played 1 safety shot, which looked like a wise choice. That's the only thing he's done in the match, and everything else has worked out perfectly for him. So it's tough, very tough.
Yeah, he said it himself. It's a tough school and a tough field. Yeah, he's under no illusions, but goodness me. He's done absolutely next to nothing wrong in this match, and he is staring a 4-1 defeat in the face, and a match-up against either Declan, Brennan or Bedford to stay in the tournament.
Looking forward to seeing what Shane tries to do here, because this looks a routine finish, but just trying to land on the sort of the 2 nearest the right centre if you could land on the one straight into right centre, maybe holding on a yellow, that would be perfect. Or do you play the gap to be on the plant to then get onto the one to right centre? Which way round does he go? Yeah, he plays into the yellow. And that worked out well both ways. If he catches it a little bit fuller on the other side, he'll go right centre, then the plant. He might go top right, then the plant, or go for the plant and then play on the one he's nearest to. Gave himself some good options with that choice of shot.
Yeah, good things could happen with that shot.
15-second shot clock.
I think that one was slightly loose for me. Was he playing to hold on the one to top right? Was he trying to get across two more turns to go top left on the straight? It's an awkward angle whichever way he goes. Yeah, it's a nice shot. Again, put the cue ball in a good area. Only thing is, he blocked the 8-ball off for left centre. No. Body language says absolutely not.
Very, very good this from Shane Thompson. He looks sharp. The SAFECRACKER sends Ryan Pisani into a tough spot when he next takes to the table. But as for Shane Thompson, the dream start to this tough group, the last 16 Group 4, begins with the SAFECRACKER sitting atop the pile. Declan, Brennan and Cole Bedford coming up next.